And we are live. Yeah, we were gonna have a talk, and I'm like, you know what? Just make this one quick. And we just play tested I think like 3 games.
Nice.
Alright, I'm gonna have this up. So for this session, I guess in the beginning, you guys can talk about your weekend, and then I wanted to go down the colors list because this weekend is a Pro Play Tour event out west. I'm gonna go down to colors and talk about what you should be running in your sideboard for colors. For instance, like if you're playing black, well, black has a lot of colors, so I'm gonna use black. But if you're playing, I don't know, if you're playing like red, if you're playing King Piccolo, you should have the borders in your sideboard, in my opinion, to combat.
I agree.
What's his face? To combat Dark Power Black Master.
Topo.
And yeah, Topo, Dark
Oh
Power.
yeah,
all those
a
stuff.
lot. There's a lot.
And then
Yeah.
yep, you just go ahead and use your drum and clear and
So I
stuff.
have my King Piccolo deck right here, so I'll pull out some cards to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're live. Let me get the chat going on so we could see what's happening with everyone. All right, everything is good. Just gonna get chat up here. All right, so what's up, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boys back again, Eddie, Giancarlo, and Sublett, coming at you today with another live session of Teen Talks. Shout out to these two guys over here. They went out to a case tournament in VA Beach, I believe it was.
Yep.
And then they both had a fairly successful tournament. So without further ado, I'll let these guys introduce themselves and talk about their weekend.
What's up, Giancarlo, as usual. Yeah, we went to VA Beach. I played Regex. I got first place. I technically went undefeated, but I did scoop to my buddy, so he would also get into top. But I definitely beat him. We played just for fun. Oh, we'll get into that, right? But it was really fun, great event. Glad to be back in Virginia. We'll get into that here in a little bit after Sublett introduces himself.
Hi.
Great introduction.
Yes, talk about your weekend, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I played Regex. It was the it's a list I've been posting my list everywhere. First, shout out John Lamontanero. I forgot to in the deck profile, but if y'all don't know him, he's a pretty cool dude. He probably like 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I just messaged him. I said, "Hey man, I know you play Regex. You got a list, man?" So he's like, "Yeah, sure thing." He sent me his list, and we talked about it a good bit, and like I ended up changing a bunch of stuff, and I think he went in a more aggro direction, and me like, I just said it's like, well, I just want to play Demigros, so like that's what I'm gonna. That was like, not even joking, like the whole reason I played Regex and everything was like, oh, I just want to play Demigros, like it's literally my favorite card, so like I just from time to time I want to play it in certain decks. I played the hell out of Dark Broly, but like I don't like that deck anymore for like various reasons. So I was like, yeah, let me give Regex a try. It was the first time I ever entered into a tournament with Regex. It was so much fun. Regex is actually super broken. Playing against the deck and playing with the deck is like not the same thing. Obviously, we've all been playing against Regex for like a year, but like now that I've actually sat down with the cards in hand, and you're just like, you go from like 4 cards in hand to like 8, and then while going like from 4 to 8, you deal 4 damage somehow, and it's like, oh my god, this deck is ridiculous. Like, so let's see. Round 1, I played Reboot Gohan. You should never lose that matchup. You should also, especially like, I was playing 6 mainboard and negates. I was playing 4 Power Bursts, 2 Supreme Kai of Time. I was mainboarding 1 Brainwash, and I was mainboarding Lineage. So like, you combine all this together, you should literally, and you can just mill your blocker. So you should never lose the Reboot Gohan. That's like, you'd have to be super unlucky to lose that. I just 2-0'd him. Round 2, I played against Dark Broly. I was actually kind of nervous because like I've been playing Dark Broly and I've been destroying Regex every time I've ever played. But I guess because I knew the matchup so well, like I was able to play it really well from the other side. I think I just killed on 3 both games. Like I got too fast of a start. I played too many battle cards. He couldn't clear my board. He didn't main or side Secret Identity, so that was nice. Yeah, Dark Broly can only clear one battle card a turn. So if I can play 3, there's just no way he can clear my board. So game 1 and 2, they just both ended on turn 3. Game 3, round 3, I played Mecha. I 2-0'd it. Like, game 1, it was so funny, bro. I'm losing the game. Like, he's just outvaluing everything I can do. He's doing Mecha Frieza stuff. Like, I got Power Super Saiyan into Bergamo mode. My entire turn was over, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And you can't play around it in Regex because, like, I have a Unison, I have 3 battle cards. No matter what I swing with, my whole board's getting rested. It doesn't matter. So, like, then I like pass the turn. He goes, summon fight. He like puts me on 2 life through various attacks. He summons Fighting Against Fate. He swings. I have Brainwash in hand, so I'm like, he swings Fighting Against Fate, and I'm like, I was like, I'm pretty sure if I go down to 2 life, he's gonna shotgun his hand. I had an inkling. I was like, I'm pretty sure I should take this damage. So I go down to 2 life, and he swings with Fighting Against Fate again. He goes, double Final Flash, going down to 1 life. And then he's like, how many cards do you play in main board? And I was like, 54. And he goes, okay. He literally says, you don't have enough room in your deck for Brainwash. So then he dunks his whole hand with a Champa. And I'm like, okay, tap 1 Brainwash. And he goes, oh, okay, game 2. So we shuffle up. And then game 2 was close as well. But, like, I think I ended up out-comboing him by like 20k on the last swing. That was the difference. Like, you don't want to. It's hard to attack Mecha. Mecha just has a lot of ways not to die. So like, you cannot attack with a battle card because they're just gonna Final Flash it. You want to attack with your Unison, but like it can get rested with POSS. So it's like you have to like sequence everything right while also playing around these like. Mecha just has so many answers. So like. I ended up swinging with the battle card. I got him down to 1 life, so like he couldn't just Final Flash out of my battle card swing. And I swung with Demigra, which is already huge, so it's a base 30k. I combo my hand out to like 90, which isn't that much, but it's like 90 is a good bit. And then he can only get to like 70 something, so I'm like, all right, GG's. Round 4, I played against Baby. I lost game 1. Game 1 was really close. I'm not gonna lie, this was my buddy who I scooped to, so like. I told him I would scoop to him before I even sat down because he had a draw. So I was undefeated. He had a draw. If he had a draw and a loss, he probably wouldn't have gotten into top 8 or something. What did you say, Sublett?
He said he drew against me.
Sublett, yeah. Baby versus Invoker. Yeah, it sounds like it's either. What did you say?
You didn't finish him. I guess you'll talk about it when you go.
Oh yeah. So but anyway, I don't know. I dropped game 1. I honestly don't remember how. We were just joking around and we weren't serious. I side in triple Super Kamehameha and double 1-drop Vegeta, and I sided in. Yeah, that was it. Like it was just, you can't lose when you have all those cards. Like, yeah,
that's game.
I think game 2 I awakened on turn 2 because like my mills were just broken. I'm like mill Trunks take a life. He goes swing lead. I'm like block Trunks. I'm like summoning a bunch of 1-drops, and then on my second turn, I'm like mill Trunks take a life awaken. I'm like, oh my god, bro. So I had all the gas. I think I put him down to 2 life on turn 2, and I awaken, and then he like somehow survives another 2 turns. Baby's kind of crazy like that. And then, whatever. Like I went too hard, too fast for him to maintain. And then game 3, I opened triple Goku. So it's like, all right, you just can't win. So I go turn 1 Goku, turn 2 double Goku. All right, just like you lose. Like there's nothing you can do. Oh, you know what lost me game 1? I got super greedy. He plays Hit Deadly Vanguard, and I knew for a fact he played it. I had a Demigra on board, and I summoned a second one, so Hit Deadly Vanguard just clears both of them. You're not supposed to do that. I just got greedy because like I didn't care. Like I said, I already knew how like it was just one of those things where like you just do it. We're not playing that seriously. And I played King Vegeta round 5. I lost game 1. I feel like he had everything. I think he had double Yamcha into Imposing Presence, and that's just a lot to deal with. Like he Yamcha'd by Demigra.
Like, the King Vegeta build with the chain. The chain, was it like the Duval special?
Yeah. No. It was like Mono Red with the 3-drop Vegeta. He played King Piccolo Unison. Other than like it was it seemed like exactly what you would expect King Vegeta to be. The big thing was I played Demigra on turn 2 to clear his Vegeta or his Goku blocker, and then he Yamchas it, and I'm like, oh, I was like, oh man, do you play Wolfang Fist? It was game 1, turn 2. I was like, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. So I'm like, all right, so I swing Demigra into his Unison. He Wolfang Fist. He still warps a card, so he's down to like 4 cards in hand, but he just comes back somehow. And then game 2 and 3, I just adjust. I'm like, okay, so I can't really go super aggressive, so I just have to like slow down. And then once I slowed down, I was like, oh, I can't actually lose because once Gogeta sticks, it's like impossible to actually clear. So like I stuck Gogeta before he stuck Unison like both games, and then like it was just over after that. So and I instead of attacking Unison game 1, I just kept attacking Life because I was greedy, and it's also like I'm guaranteed to top no matter what. Like, so who cares? Like, but after I lost game 1, I was like, oh, I don't actually want to lose this game, so let me like actually pay attention and play. So yeah, it was cool. So like I said, I went undefeated, even though like I scooped 1. It was a great event. I'm kind of surprised I won. I wasn't like expecting to win, but like it was cool that I did. And then yeah, we split top 8 because like we just wanted to go hang out and eat because I'm from Virginia. Sublett still lives in Virginia. I live in Florida. I don't get to see like all my Virginia friends that often, so it's like yeah, I kind of just want to hang out. Like we don't really need to play Dragon Ball that much. So it was a great event. I mean, I would do it again. I drove 16 hours. I got back Monday morning at midnight. I was late to work on Tuesday because I slept through my alarm. I'm getting old, man. I know I'm getting old because these drives are getting harder and harder. So I don't know, but that's it.
Makes sense. All right, what you got for us, Albert?
This weekend I actually played in 2 events. I played on Saturday in the core regional, and on Sunday I played in the case tournament that Chesko was just talking about. I got 12th in the regional, so I got 1 of each of the winner stamp cards now. That's cool whenever they get here. And I got top 8, 4th or 5th place, something like that, in the case tournament. Playing the exact same 52 cards between both days. Invoker, because why not? The only thing that was different is going from the best of 1 to the best of 3. I grabbed 14 cards that seemed good to go into a side deck, and the 6-drop green Broly that I always side deck, and that was a side deck choice, I guess. I don't know. I went X2 in the regional. One of my losses was to King Cold. I have not had such a horrible game before in my life. No Tournament of Power Arena the entire 5 turns. Every spell missed. And then the turn before I go to 5 energy, I have 7 cards in hand. The man Frieza, 1 out of 7 hits Victory Strike. Just clean that one up. Yeah, that was the third Frieza, no less. I killed 2 Friezas and did not expect him to have a third one, and he had a third one.
That's a handshake right there, isn't it?
That's a handshake. Yeah, that is, wow. That's sad face. And then my other loss was against the Gex. Chesko was in the room then laughing at me, letting my opponent take back a bunch of plays.
Too nice. You want to tell him what happened? It was funny.
He thought I was at 2, and so he comboed his whole hand with a Champa, but it's a webcam.
Yeah.
I let him take it.
So
I let him take it back because I was at 3.
Sublett was at 3 life. Sublett was at 3 life.
Yeah.
The guy shotguns his entire hand, and Sublett goes, "Oh, I'm at 2 life, right?" And he goes, "Oh, what?" He's like freaking out. Sublett's like, "Oh no, it's okay. You can take it back." And the guy's like, "Oh, thank you." And then he wins like the same turn or something. Like he finds a different way to win. And I'm like sitting behind Sublett in like a beanbag chair, just shaking my head. I'm just like,
That time point, he knows he can't stop the attack. It's like, oh,
yeah.
I can't. I don't regret it or anything.
No, I know. It's just funny. Yeah.
No takesy backs.
Doesn't bother me. I let people take stuff back all the time. And then let's see here. I ended up getting 12th place. The Vegex I lost to got 8th place, I think. So it didn't even make a difference in the world. I also played against the Dark Rolly in the last round. Made a huge oopsies.
Yeah.
I remember looking at his hand and seeing a Heroine's Lineage. And then I forgot it was there and attacked with a 3-drop Goku on the board and he snatched it. And I was like, oh man, that's bad. Luckily I'm at 5 life. His first attack, I Sleepy Boy, get it back to my hand. My own Rival Seeker, come back. And then his next attack, the card I take off the life to hand is a Violent Raise. So we were never punished. Yeah. And the next turn I got to do the full combo. And it ended up working out perfectly because otherwise he would have been able to kill the Rival Seeker. I didn't have enough to do game that turn. So it all worked out anyway, never punished. Right. So yeah, that, and then one other fun thing of note is I played against a Control Sin, and his leader added Haze to hand. At this point, I have the 6-drop Goku tapped because it attacked him. Only 5 energy. It was a weird game. I had to play all 3 of them and deal 8-0. But so he adds the Haze to hand, and I ask him, "Are you going to tap 4 for the Haze?" Now my opponent watched me use the Rival Seeker to add a Royal Condemnation back to my hand, and he has no other battle cards to attack with. He taps 4 for the Haze. And then after the match, when it gets done, Chesko he's laughing in the background because what do you like to call that one, Chesko? The Adam Corn?
Yeah, the Adam Corn mind game. It's you tell your opponent the wrong play to make on purpose, and then they make that play. Well, I do it. Sublett does it all the time. I do it all the time. It's just a mind game you can do to your opponent. It's not illegal. It's just something you can do. You know what I mean?
There was really no other play for him to make anyway. It didn't make much of a difference. He had 3 cards in hand. I knew what all 3 of them were because of my leader effect. So
yeah, like even if he had some in the Haze, it literally doesn't change the fact that like he's playing Shenron versus Invoker. Like it's just he's not winning just because he has Haze. It doesn't matter.
But it is funny.
It is very funny. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
And then in the case tournament, I had like 2 draws or 3 draws or something ridiculous like that. All the guys at Virginia Beach just play slow, baby control-y thingies, and it takes forever. And every game 1 I lost because of a top deck on my opponent's side. So I play against Baby, against Mike Rinchuti. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Mike.
Yeah, that's close.
Close enough, man. Mike, Italian last name. So
he's not Italian. He's Sicilian.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sicilian last name.
That's okay.
Anyway, he's got nothing in hand. I've got game on board. He is dead next turn, but I'm under a foo, so I cannot kill him. I pass. He draws for turn. Nothing good. Uses a unison effect. Draws 17.
Ooh, man.
And I wasn't able to get game back by the time he just ended up killing me.
Yeah, I was sitting next to someone when that happened, and Mike goes, "Oh man, I'm gonna lose unless I draw 17." And then he like looks at the top card and he's like, "Oh, I drew 17." We all just started laughing. It's just so funny.
Yeah, he Yu-Gi-Moto hearted the cards to me.
Yeah, he did.
But I got him back game 2 by doing 6 damage using only 2 catastrophic blows and no 6-drop Gokus.
Yeah. Ended up in a tie.
2 Rival Seekers on board with 2 cat blows is 6 damage. Royal Condemnation to stop the big monkey.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. It was game out of nowhere, but it ended up being a draw because it ended up being a draw. And then I played against King Vegeta, and that match is a little rough for me. I'm still trying to figure out how to play it, but game 1 he beat me. Game 2 I beat him. Game one.
Describe his build.
What?
Describe the build that you played. Was it the same one? Giancarlo?
It was the same player.
Oh, the same one.
It's the same 50 cards, and I replaced Pan Unison with Kaioken Son Goku.
No, he's saying
no, I'm talking about the King Vegeta
build.
Oh, the King Vegeta. It was an interesting one. It was mono red with the Vegeta 3-drop and with Piccolo Jr. Unison. I don't know. But regardless, and main decked Crown of Retribution.
Yeah.
because he's used to babies everywhere, which great for me. Main deck Kaioken and Crown of Retribution.
All right.
That was home.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I lost game
side
one
note.
because I didn't know he had Crown, but really I lost game one because he summons the stupid Vegeta. Guess what? It crit.
Victory strike.
Yes, it is victory strike. My luck this weekend has been absolute garbage. The fact that I topped both events is nothing but a miracle. So I win game 2 through victory strike. Actually, he's able to. He's like 5k too short or 10k too short to beat victory strike. And then we don't have enough time to go into game 3. So a draw again. And then in the last round, I played against Jordan. Game 1.
Full
I
seat
go.
time.
He was playing Mecha Frieza.
Mega? Yeah.
I'm at like 8 or 9 energy. I can't find a 6-drop to save my life.
8 or 9 energy?
8 or 9 energy.
My
He's at like 7 or 8 energy as
Yeah.
well. He hasn't even awakened yet. Like, that's just how this game is going. And when I do something, I have used a Rival Seeker 3 turns in a row now to add back Death Beams and Royal Condemnations. Because that's just one. I've seen one cat blow. One. Again, luck, trash. He's going in for the game turn, and of course, off the life is a 6-drop. Great. And then game 2, he got me down really low, really fast. And he swings in. I'm at 4 energy. I've got Vegeta on the board. He swings in with the Bardock Ape. I'm at 2 life. I tell him no negates. And he throws a Death Beam. Not a Death Beam. The anti-Death Beam. Vegeta's Final Flash on the Ape to make my Vegeta say nothing. It's a nice skillless card. Then he throws another one on it. And then he throws another one on it. Then he puts the rest of his hand. This is Mecha, mind you. He puts the rest of his hand behind it as well. So this thing was huge. And Rios was sitting beside him, just shaking his head like watching a train wreck happen. No, don't do it. Don't do it, Marco.
But it hit the freaking Nibiru's with Emperor's Death Beam.
No. You can't Death Beam that, Eddie. That thing's base is a 65.
Oh.
You need 3 Death Beams to
Damn.
kill it. You know what I did, though? I combination attacked and put it back in his hand.
That's pretty funny. Oh, man.
And then as soon as that happened, they called time.
Yeah.
And so instead of having a draw, we just decided to split whoever went forward to top decided to split the prizes between the two because otherwise neither of us would have gotten it.
Yeah.
And then top cut was split. So that was it was a long weekend of terrible luck. I remember game 1 against Jordan. I look at his hand, I rip the only Final Flash in it, and off the top of his deck he draws. And him and Rios just both kind of snicker to each other. And I'm like, you just drew another Final Flash, didn't you? Which, by the way, second time he's done that to me now. When we were in Miami in the invitational qualifier thingy, I ripped a cooler out his hand and topped it.
Another cooler? Damn.
Oh, God. So, that's pretty much how my weekend went. Yeah. But hey, still top 2 events. Cool stuff.
That's what's up. Real quick, shout out. What's up, Coop? What's up, Winneso? I think that's how you say it. Card Games TV, Black Sun Demon, and Pac-Man's in the house. What's up, you guys?
What's up?
So you guys heard from these guys, successful weekends from their respective events. So now we're gonna hit these colors up really quick. Let's make the switch. Boom. I love using this site. I don't know why, but I just love using this site. It's legit. To Apex X, and let's talk about these these things you should have in your sideboard. And we're gonna do it by color. I don't know. Yeah, we'll do it by color. We'll do it by color.
Yeah, I guess
We'll just start in regular order, I guess, which would be red. So
it would be red.
yeah, so for red, can we all agree that the top 2 mono red leaders are King Vegeta and King Piccolo?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so I guess a card. It's gonna sound weird. I don't know what King Vegeta can do, but we've been talking about this one for a while. for King Piccolo. If you are playing King Piccolo, you can exploit one of your biggest weaknesses, which is Dark Power Black Man saying with this. Let me take the red off. With this beautiful, I don't want to search for. I want to just put his name in here. Oh, here he goes. The Boar Ritual at hand. So I'll let our very own Giancarlo talk about this, one of his favorite interactions, because he does play King Piccolo. So yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Give him the Spice Man with this bad boy.
Got you. So yeah, moving forward, King Piccolo should side. In my opinion, it should side Deborah Ritual at hand. For the two biggest cards are going to be BMS. The second card's going to be Topo. You also have the King Cold matchup. Does make you discard cards from hand. So like overall, it's just going to be like a pretty beneficial card to have. I watched Hassan. Shout out to Hassan from Topo Loco. He's the one who told me about this interaction, and I watched him do it in Miami. His opponent has BMS on the board. He goes attack with leader, summon drum. So because BMS is on the board, he has to discard 2 Deborah from hand. Or he has to discard 2 from hand. He dumps 2 Deborah. He, as the turn player, decides in which way his auto is resolved. He resolves Drum's auto to neg something first, killing BMS, and then he resolves both Deborah. Taps 2, summons 2 Deborah, draws 4 cards. Oh my god, bro, that was so cool. Yeah, that whole play line is just nuts. I think you just win the game like that turn. You summon 3 15Ks and you drew 4 cards. Like I think you just win when that happens. Like that's a lot. Even if you only have 1 Deborah, it's still worth it because you draw more than you discard. So it's pretty nice. And then if your opponent topos you, Deborah helps you swing through topo. Again, even if you discard Deborah and another random card, you still are drawing more than you discard because it's basically instead of a -2, it's a +1. So it just helps you swing through topo. It's nice.
Big facts. Just one note on the Matt saying part. Don't forget, you need a drum for each black Matt saying to have on board so you won't neg, guys. Just keen on that.
Yeah.
Don't super neg. So if they have 2, make sure you're gonna have 2 drums coming in. If they have 1, you're gonna super plus if you drop multiple. Because all you need is 1 drum, and if you drop multiple with the bars, you're going to super plus on that play. From a play, you should have 100% negged in. Yeah, so what other cards do we have for King Piccolo? It's not just King Piccolo. I just read in general. A lot of guys are starting to mainboard it. So I'm not going to really say it's a side. I know King Piccolo probably a sideboard, but I know a lot of people and King Vegeta specifically are just now mainboarding, which makes sense because it is searchable through your leader. It's going to be... All right, we're not going to play this game. We're just going to start typing these names in.
Yeah. So
our
you
one and
want
only.
to start from one drops, right?
Yeah, our one and only. Broly, Crown of Retribution. All right, so go ahead and talk about this bad boy. I know how much you love this card.
All right, look. Broly, Crown of Retribution is so good he's in my side deck too. So I'm just going to read this card to you guys. You should know what it does by now if you're playing a red deck, but if you're not, you should know what it does to play around it. Okay, now this is an old promo that we got from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's a 1 mana red card, 4K, it's never going to attack, 0 mana 5K combo. Auto, if your leader is red, when you play this card from your hand, if your opponent has 2 or more energy in active mode, your opponent reveals their hand, you choose a battle card from it with 20k power or less, and you place it in your opponent's drop area. So what does this hit, you ask? Well, let's consider the things that are 20k or less in the decks that are going to leave energy up. Things like Blue Baby, for example, or some green decks will often leave a bunch of energy up, things like that. So this hits Topo. This hits any of those obnoxious Blue Baby cards that say you can't attack anymore. This hits any kind of early counterplay in green, like hits Frieza, Charismatic Villain, hits the Cooler, it hits the King Cold Topo card that they have. In decks like that, this card often baits out those kinds of things. So if you have a big play that costs 3 energy and you're at 4, you can play the Crown first to kind of protect it in a sense. Yep. This is a very important card. And so if you're playing a red deck, 2 to 3 of this card, probably 3, should live in your side deck. And if you're playing against a red deck, try not to leave 2 energy open. Try to leave only 1. If your counter move, whatever they're doing, if your response to what they're going to be doing cost 1 energy, try to find a way to go down to only 1 energy. because Crown of Retribution will mess you up. They will start the day with Crown, and they will end your game with Crown. Trust me on that, they always do. And they'll look at your hand and see all these nice juicy win conditions, and they'll just rip the topo and kill you.
Yep.
Because that's how it happens. So Crown of Retribution is a very important card for red decks, and any red deck that's using Crown of Retribution also needs to use another card. And Eddie, if you want to go to him, it's that beautiful 3-drop Goku with the blue hair, the Kaioken Son Goku.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
another.
yep.
This is another red deck staple. A lot of red decks will main deck this card, but if you don't at least main deck it, you should side deck it. And just because of what it can do in the meta right now. So Kaioken Son Goku, Concentrated Destruction. This card is a 3-mana deflect, 2 red specific, 15k. Right, that deflect is important. It means that the words on this card, they're going to happen. Okay? So you have 2 options with this card. The first option is an auto. When you play this card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less and KO them. This is a board wipe. This is very strong against mirror matches, like the King Vegeta and King Piccolo mirror match. Now, King Vegeta especially has a hard time reestablishing their board if you clean it up. And so this card is very important there. King Cold also can have a very hard time reestablishing a board, and this will clean that up. And anything like Vegex, this can just put it in on Vegex really quickly.
Yep.
And another thing that this does is you play it, it clears their blockers too. And so all your critical dudes, they can go straight to the face or straight to the unison without it being impeded. And this attacks as well. Now the second effect on this card is what makes it very important for things like Mecha Frieza and Invoker, though you're probably not going to see any of those, honestly. And any other matchup that has barrier cards. Okay? So you have an activate main for 2 red energy. If your leader is red, and you place this card from your hand in your drop area. So if your leader's red, for 2 red energy, you discard this card. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, give it minus 25. Okay. So this clears Bojack. This clears Annihilator. This clears SSB Vegeta. This clears this even clears things without barrier, like the 5-drop Frieza that King Cold has. This clears the
Gogeta TP.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, this clears the
yeah.
TP. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember. Is it a Gogeta? Is it a Vegeta?
Right, some good cards.
Thwarting the Dark Empire. I remember that because are you thwarting the plans?
Thwarting plans.
So this card is very important. It's very critical for any red deck. Somewhere in your main and side deck combined should be 2 copies of this card at least. It's that important to red decks right now because red decks have problems dealing with those slower control-y decks, especially Mecha Frieza can kind of give you an issue. But if they tap out expecting to be able to Bojack, you Kaioken the Bojack, they kind of just lose on the spot. Because they can't get any of that energy back anymore.
Yeah.
And so all their stuff is expensive, which means every attack you do is going to deal a damage whether they do it to themselves or not. And more on the Mecha Frieza front, considering Mecha Frieza is a very popular, very good deck, if they've got a bunch of Raiders War Cries and stuff like that, this has deflect, so you can play it and wipe their board. And they can't say anything to
it. It hits everything. It hits
everything.
Warcry, Bergamo, Chapil, Sorrel and Hop, Basil, everything but Bojack, it's gonna kill. And then on the other side, it kills Bojack. So super good against Mecha.
And Annihilator kills Annihilator.
Oh, it kills Annihilator.
Your biggest
Annihilator
matches Annihilator and Slug for red for your searches.
Oh, and Slug, yeah.
Slug.
So Annihilator is not super good against King Piccolo, but it is good against the other one, Vegeta. It's good against like mid-range Vegeta. And then on the flip side, like Slug also isn't that good against King. The decks are so different that like but you kill Bojack. That's like the big one, right? You just kill Bojack and you're good to go.
So Kaioken and Crown of Retribution are 2 red deck staples. And going into any tournament, if you are King Piccolo, King Vegeta, or Invoker, you need them somewhere in your main deck or side deck. And that's just how it goes. As far as other mono red deck side cards,
I want to hit an honorable mention before you hit the side cards. So I want to hit a little package real quick, guys, for King Vegeta. If you guys need a finisher, it's Sublett bought this up on one of our previous team talks. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. This Goku right here, you should really look into him with Heartfelt Plea because this is searchable through your leader with King Vegeta, and your Heartfelt Plea is actually searchable through your not your leader because it's not mono red, but through this Vegeta the next level. So if you need a finisher for your King Vegeta match, like you feel like because that's the issue with the deck. I found the deck when I was playing with. Sometimes it feels great, but sometimes it feels like if you get bored or whatever, it's just hard for you to just have that one big splash. It's just, this is my guy. This I'm going to finish you with. So don't forget, this guy, a really, really simple guy to just bring out, searchable. That is unique, unfortunately, but it does replace itself. You play it, you draw a card, bond 3, he'll go to 25 when your opponent has 3 or more energy, and then your leader will search, not your leader, excuse me, your Vegeta, this 3-drop right here, SS God, Vegeta to the next level, or Search Your Heartfelt Plea. You do have that package, so check that out.
Yeah.
it's a very good side deck option for when you're going second. So you win game 1, and then you put in your pleas and your 1-drops. And a really cute play you can do, because you go to 3 energy, is play the 1-drop Goku, draw your card, awaken, Heartfelt Plea the thing, and then play Jiren with your 3 other energy, and then play your
That's true.
Then play your double striker Piccolo that comes out for free. Then play your fighting against Fate. Then your opponent they stopped. They gave up. Okay, yeah, you got me. Jeez, stop hitting me.
That's a lot of tempo, yeah.
Stop hitting me, please. Leave me be. There's one other mono red card to consider side decking, and that's Beerus Ball.
Yep, I'll find it.
So Beerus Ball, for those of you that don't know, it's a counterplay. If your leader card is red and your life is 4 or less, if the battle card being played is 15k or less, it goes to the drop area instead of being played. Then your leader gets +5 for the turn. And then it has a multicolor effect that's only relevant to Invoker. And I guess like cooler decks and stuff like that. We need Trey here to discuss the relevancy in cooler, I suppose.
Shots fired.
So
that wasn't shot fired.
I'm just kidding. Trey was also at Virginia.
Note on the Beerus
Ball. By me.
Yeah, note on the Beerus Ball too, guys. If you guys are playing a 2-cost unison, there's a thing I think is superior to Beerus Ball, which is this Omen. You only pay 1, yeah. But if you're not playing a 2-cost unison, it will not be 1. He's right. Beerus Ball is pretty much it's the same thing. Plus, it gives you a beam effect. So you do have those 2 options. And one more extra card I wanted to hit for you guys, which is really, really convenient for King Vegeta. I don't see a lot of people playing it. Is this beautiful bad boy right here? I know a lot of people play it. Don't forget, this guy is a 25k combo, all for 1 energy. It's the amount of stuff you can do off 1 energy, 1 swing. That I'm talking about, this is just if you use 1. This is just like, you remember how somebody was talking about how Marco dumped all his final flashes behind 1 guy? Imagine doing the same thing, but at the same time, your leader is at -5 if you shoot, dude. Like it's that powerful. This is a card you guys want to check out. And
there's one more card. We keep saying one more. There's a lot of cards.
There's a lot of cards for red.
Red has but one card that's like super relevant in King Piccolo. I've been testing it out. Is the Vegito Unison of Might. Okay.
Yeah, that's so my last one too.
Okay, yeah. The reason I think it's expressly good in King Piccolo is because you use it with your other 2-drop Unison, right? The Piccolo Junior Unison is -2, clears the board. So, like on your turn 4, you're gonna swing with your Piccolo Junior Unison. You're gonna -2. You're gonna clear the board. Maybe you're gonna rejuvenate if you have enough life. If you have enough markers. That's cool. If not, you just slam your Vegito and then you -2. So it literally says your opponent just skips their turn because they enter their turn with no board and then they can't play battle cards with skills. So like outside of like tapping the original mana cost of the card, they're never going to be able to play any card in their deck. So like 99% of decks are not tapping mana cost for cards. So it literally just says skip your opponent's turn. So it's super strong combo.
Yes, sir. All right. So
I think it has other effects too. I've never once used any of its other effects.
Nah, that's literally all it's used for. It was used on me against Miami. That King Piccolo player I tied against, he did exactly what you said. He literally board wiped me with the Piccolo. There's that one Mexican, I gives it, I think, plus 10 or 20, whatever it was. So everything was like 30 plus. I'm like, well, damn. And he negged to his Piccolo Unison and it's cleared everything, including the 30 plus. I'm like, oh, my guys are done. I'm like, I'm about to kill you next turn. And then he drops a Vegeta Unison on mine, and that one was over. So that's how we ended up in a tie for that. An honorable mention deck to look out for is Bulma. It's a story for another day, but we're gonna move on from red because Bulma, I believe, has a lot of potential, especially with this beautiful SCR. I think it fits perfectly. But
It's in launch tier. Bulma and launch kind of inhabit the same spot of
yep,
not being as good as other red decks, but operating in a way that's unique, and
yep,
so players will like them. Also, Dragon Ball players love red Earthlings.
they
Like
do.
it's a weird thing. Like people love to play red Earthling decks.
Yeah. The only reason why I bought that up before we go to blue is because don't forget, guys, your secret rare in Bulma is searchable. Well, not just Bulma, and any rare deck is searchable with this bad boy. Not only is your secret rare searchable, but so are your Yamchas, the counterplay Yamchas.
Uh,
So, guys,
yep.
this is gonna be. I'm gonna talk about this segment. It's gonna be like a red segment. It's gonna get talked about, but not today, because today we're gonna try to stay on task with these cards, and now we are
And
going
then you
to.
can block, and then you can block with Pilaf. Yeah, I like Bulma. I like Bulma a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna switch up to blue right now, guys. So yeah, blue. Um, damn, tech cards for blue. I don't know. I don't know what blue has, bro.
There's literally here's the thing. There's only one blue deck. Okay, sorry, Bojack. I don't believe in you. Oh, I will real quick. I just want to point out that I said that you can watch good players and you can figure out what deck is good. I literally said I saw Figs buying Bojack, Anthony Figueroa, aka Figs. I was like, oh yeah, I saw him buying Bojax in the auction group. That deck is probably okay. And then he got top 16 with Bojack. So hey, good for him. I'm just saying, like, if you pay attention to what people are buying, you might have a little bit of a clue as to what can top. But anyway, I don't actually believe in Bojack. I said I hate that deck. I don't really think it's bad. I just really dislike the way it plays. That's just my personal opinion. So the only good mono blue deck is Baby. And Baby literally has too many options to talk about. Not gonna lie, there are 100 blue cards with counter on them, and they all can serve a functionable purpose in Baby. I think the two cards I would actually talk about are Riot Javelin. Riot Javelin is the name. Because it ignores barrier. So when your opponent plays Annihilator on you, the yellow Annihilator, it sucks that you have to tap 3, but again, you're Baby. You have the time to get to turn 3. It's an extra card, yeah. Yeah. And then you can bounce Annihilator. So your opponent spends 3 energy, and then you spend 3 energy, but because you're Baby, you're just kind of okay with it. And then I don't know, Sublett, do you have any Baby tech? It's Baby. Like there's too many blue counters to talk about.
All right. Baby players hate losing to the Gex.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, it's that obnoxious Super Kamehameha that destroys Baby players. If you're a Baby player, here's something to test out that Mike and I were talking about last night somewhat. Striving to be the best Son Goku. 2 energy, you put it on the board, and your Vegex opponent cannot get to 4 life without milling 4 trunks. Which means that they cannot.
Card, dude.
Well, they can't Super Kamehameha you if they're not at 4 life.
Not at 4, yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool, actually.
Which means that your floodgates are still live, even if you have to discard cards for it.
Yeah.
And so all their 1-drops don't do anything. They just end up being tempo losses when you tap 1 and spin them to the bottom of their deck. The Piccolo and Gohan. Yep. So that's a card that certainly needs more testing to find out how good it is, but I think that's a card that might honestly warrant that space in your side deck. It also works against the Piccolo Jr. Eradicator of Peace. Card just can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can play it. It can never turn sideways.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
There's just a lot of cards in Baby that you can tech to make your deck better. There's a lot of cards you can tech to make your deck worse.
Blue can also side the Pan and Giru, Energy Fortification. It's good against Dark Broly. And if you're going against a Dark Broly deck that has like Demigras coming out everywhere and hand destruction-y kind of things, then Baby can have a hard time against that. And the Dabura doesn't actually do anything against them, so Pan kind of just buys you a turn without taxing you with the Gokus.
Yep.
And then just like the Beerus Ball, you could play Absolute.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So for blue, I only had two things, which both are not battle cards and extra cards, just unisons. So for blue, obviously we got the Mountain Blue. We talked about this card multiple times. It's good, guys. Like if you're playing a blue deck, you're not playing this unison. Your blue deck's probably just not doing nothing. No offense to you, unless you're gonna play the next deck that I'm talking about. So I am a true believer in that skillless deck. I'm still on the fence whether you have to play skillless, the Gohan leader itself or Soul Striker leader, but I 100% believe these are the unisons you should be playing, guys. I know I just said blue is good, but you want to give your opponent the hassle of swing with a bunch of 20Ks, while after you swing with those 20Ks, you cannot take damage because they have to deal with your unison or they have to deal with your 20Ks essentially. Now, the beauty about blue, right? Once you have these unisons on board, it's not as easily as, okay, cool, I'm just going to, all your guys are two, I'm just going to secret identity you and warp them all the way. Because you do have the blue unison, they have to respect God chilling, which most likely by turn 3, we're going to have 100%. That's just how blue functions. So, the ones you have, again, you really have 3, but realistically speaking, you have 2. I would never see a world where you want to play this. So you have this. If this is too pricey for you guys, instead of playing the starter deck one, I would recommend you play. There's the 4-drop one. It's somewhere here. Yeah. I don't know where it is. Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
The one, 4-drop. The one thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
What you were saying? No, go ahead. What you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say the one thing. I do like the skillless Gohan deck. The problem is not that the deck is bad. The problem is that King Cold exists.
Yeah.
And you will hate the game if you have to play against King Cold with that skillless Gohan deck. I was just playtesting. I love playing blue. I was playtesting a bunch of random blue decks. It's like an auto loss to any green deck. It sucks. It's not fun. So I mean, it's not that the deck is bad. It's that you just have a really horrible counter.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, if you're playing that skillless deck, you understand. Like I said, I'm still not sure if you should be playing the Soul Striker leader with it or the Gohan leader with it.
You should be playing Soul Striker. Soul Striker is the decks operate in the exact same way, except Soul Striker is the better leader. Like that's it, right?
Yeah, it essentially comes down to the one more untap versus the extra 5K on, I believe it's both players' turn. Which is, I don't know. I guess it comes down to what you want. I'm not going to argue it because I don't play the deck, and you guys would know better than me. That's one thing I don't really give deck takes unless I actually play the deck, so I don't want to steer you wrong. Right. So that's why I'm just going to say I don't know which one's right.
the thing that's cool. Okay, Awakening is good, right?
Yeah.
So like whether it's an untapped
Awakening is insane with Gohan.
No. We're talking the keyword skill Awaken is very good, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine you have a leader that awakens every single turn. It draws one and untaps 2. Soul Striker is just the best blue leader, best generic blue leader, because it awakens literally every single turn. So like that's why I just generally think Soul Striker is the best generic blue leader.
Makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that because, like I said, I don't play blue.
The
only blue deck that I would venture to try out because I seen it play at my locals and my boy Ethan Mazer, shout out to him. He was killing with this deck. He just stopped playing because that 13 came out. Was this with the Android 16? That is a hand destruction deck, and that's one of the decks I was trying to tell you in the team chats. Like not in the team chats, in our messenger. Like Android 16 is a real hand destruction deck. Like it's legit, dude. Like it's a real hand destruction deck with God Sealing. That's technically 2 God Sealing, but that's a story for another day as well. Yeah, that's a story for another day as well. All right, so now let's move into green. The green goodies. All right, real quick before we talk about the green goodies, do you play Dormant in King Cole? Yes or no? Sublett, do you play Dormant in King Cole?
I deck.
You said you don't?
It feels like a side deck card. I don't know if you've read Royal Supremacy, or is that the name of the card?
Yeah, it is. When you have 3 extra cards, it's a free negate.
Royal Supremacy. This card costs 0 energy and kills a 3-drop when it negates the attack. This card's insane. But the problem with Dormant right now is that it's just too much of a minus. King Cold has a really explosive early game, and then its draw power and its staying power kind of like peter off, and its hand just gets smaller and smaller as the game goes on. I have some experience with this now. I've actually played King Cold. Everybody told me I should play King Cold. I still don't know what strangers have come up to me and said, "You're getting burnout on Invoker. You should play King Cold. I think you would like it." Every single person. So I have built it, and I do like it to some extent. I think it's not the strongest deck in the world, but its hand dwindles. You don't really have the ability to pay for the dormant potential, not energy wise, but from your hand. It's too much of a minus, and your deck has too many spell cards as it is to really afford playing another spell card that minuses your hand that hard. It's just it doesn't fit in that deck. Other decks that don't have cards like Royal Supremacy, I think that they'll find a place for dormant. Yeah. Like Green Broly, for example, could certainly find a place for a couple copies, and Turles a couple copies, but it's definitely not a 4-of anymore. And it really feels like it doesn't do enough. Like, you want to side deck it for decks that are small and wide and have like 1-drops and 2-drops that you can get some extra value out of the card, and otherwise it's just, it feels oddly enough, it feels like a bad card otherwise. Not like Dormant is a bad card, of course. I mean, just like in the matchups that you're playing.
Yeah, losing the hand advantage isn't worth it, especially since it's not stopping that time.
It feels bad.
I can explain.
Or you want to side it out, or you want to discard it for random effects. Like, you never want to play it, and that just makes me feel like Dormant belongs in the side deck at best.
Yeah. I can explain exactly why it feels bad. Okay, right now, green is a deck of removal. Look at it. I played OG Broly, and I never wanted to Dormant. I always wanted to play Homicidal Clones. And look at every card that King Cold has for like removal. Okay, you have Cooler counterplay, which is not removal, but it's a counterplay. You have Frieza, you have Royal Supremacy, you have your Leader, and you have your 5-drop Frieza. Those are all like removal cards. So your opponent is not establishing wide boards, and Dormant was good when wide boards were a huge thing. Your opponent, you're gonna clear like all of your opponent's battle cards, and then they're only gonna have like 2 attacks that turn. So for you to neg 2 off of Dormant just to stop 1 attack when Homicidal Clones is like it's a 1-for-1 that also stops 2 attacks. Or like Sublett said, like Royal Supremacy is just a regular negate that costs 0 that also stops 2 attacks. Or can stop 2 attacks. You understand? So like there's just the meta is not the meta does not reflect a meta that you need Dormant. In OG Broly, I'm down to 2 Dormant. Cooler should play like none, maybe sideboard 2. King Cold, yeah, my bad. King Cold, not Cooler. King Cold should probably side 2 Dormant because like why not? It's definitely good enough to side. But like Clones just does the exact. I'm not even kidding. Like a lot of the time, playing Clones will do the exact same thing as Dormant, except you don't neg 2 out of your hand. So. And also, like, Dormant, like, the fact that it never negated the first attack was always a huge problem. Like, you essentially, like, Dormant's not a neg 2, it's a neg 4. You know what I mean? It's like a neg 4 that ends the turn. So, like, in the past, that was cool. But, like, now, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, when it was introduced, I think it was Green Gold that did it the best because you essentially stopped 2 attacks because the first one, you dormant it and you blocked with a blocker, and you usually had 2 blockers on the board that was set up. But real quick, before we move on, I fell back on a comment, so let's catch up real quick. We have Pac-Man said, what's you guys? I need more deck profiles in front of Outback. I'm dead. What else said? Side deck against hand destruction. Pac-Man said, I like the new SR Goku from set 13. It's a one. Oh yeah, you see, he was talking about the same cards we're talking about. Yeah. Death Ball is awesome. Strive to be the best. Goku, snaps away. Most cards you side are black. Exactly. Black shouldn't have a lot of sideboard cards. Not sure how much merit you guys give it, but I actually want to store championship with the Green Gohan skillless lead. Certain matches force you to play awkwardly, but that's what I was saying before. Like that's why I said, personally, me, I'm not gonna give my input on the deck. I just seen the deck play, and I've seen it through both perspectives, and in both of them had something unique to offer. I'm not sure which one's correct. Like once again, I don't play the deck, but I still believe that's a deck that people are sleeping on because to me, it's like it's a mini Dark Broly that's blue that you have a unison. Like okay, cool. Like the stuff that like a Dark Broly player would running it, like a Violent Rise or whatever it is, you don't care because you still have your leader and you still have now an additional unison swing on it. So it's not as hurtful, I guess you can say, and you have God Sealing too, which is really really good.
Right. No, it's not a bad deck. It's
Yeah,
literally just King Cold exists,
mhm,
and if you play against King Cold, you will never want to play the deck again. It is because you play a 2-cost skillless, and every single card in the King Cold deck is
pops in.
just designed to murder it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay, and we have what else we got? What else we got? What else we got?
Yeah,
Blue
18
Android
mil.
18
Yeah,
mil
that's
didn't earn a spot here. For best of
yeah.
one, I don't like talking about best of one decks because this is I have an issue right now. That's why like King Cole, I don't like to talk about it because you'll see as we move on in the sideboard. I think King Cole is one of the most easily sideboarded things because you have one win con. I'll show you a deck though in green right now that I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my local guys because he used it on me. I'm like, that's actually pretty smart. And I think a lot of
OG
players
Broly dog.
should
OG
be
Broly's
playing
best
that
green deck.
that tech on that. That's what I'm talking about. Android 18. It's a really good best of one deck, but best of three. I don't know if you would have the same results. They talking about side deck cards. How they already talk about red? Yeah, we talked about red. I'll post this tomorrow. Reverse flash. So if you want to see red, yeah, just check out the video tomorrow. All right, so we'll get back to green really quick. Okay, yeah, we just brought up the whole thing about dormant because I know that was a big discussion point in the group. You guys want me to start this off, or you guys want to start for green?
Oh God, green is like blue, man. There's so many dang cards that like are only halfway relevant.
Mhm.
Use the
King Cole.
Moscow Deity's Wrath.
Oh,
Yep,
absolutely.
for the
That.
mirror
Thank you
match
for reminding
for
me.
green. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Any
Gotta,
green
gotta
mirror match.
shout out Justin Rios on that one though.
Yeah. That thing was putting it in against me when I played him. He was playing King Cold,
Mhm.
and I was playing OG Broly, and I just barely won. And that card was like the reason he was in the game, bro. That thing was like a +10, and like you just basically every turn it's like a +2. You swing with it, they discard a card, and then they have to not take a damage somehow. The thing's it's crazy, and then you can literally never remove it. Like
Yeah, once
Yeah.
it's his
you
That's
board,
know,
why it's so
you're
good.
feeling good, man.
yeah,
It's for the green mirror match.
Yeah.
yeah, green mirror match. Yeah,
You side it in the green mirror match. You trade your Frieza into it, and it just can never die, and so it's constant pressure.
correct.
One thing I will stone on
Uh,
this, guys, do not make the miss. But I see a lot of people just play this card. Do not forget. Hold on, let me reread. There it is. Yeah, you have to have 3 or more energy, guys. Don't just hey I phrased you and go right into it. You have to have 3 or more energy. I've seen this a lot, especially on the tap. Do not play this card if you have 2 or less energy. But yeah, this card is really really great. Another card I want to touch up upon. Shout out. This is not. I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm going to give it to my boy Julian Rodriguez, the guy who got, I believe it was top 4 with Android 13 like 2 regionals ago. He also played
mhm.
this. Damn, where is it? 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 Oh man, this is wild. Okay, I'll just pull him up. He played this in King Cole, and I thought it was really, really cool because it gave King Cole some power that it should not have, which is right here. He played this bad boy because I guess he's a fill spell. I'm not really. I don't memorize the names of the fill spells for King Cole, but there's a fill spell that lets you essentially summon out Freezer's clan that's 2 or less, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so he
I
played this on me
anticipated
essentially.
it.
Yeah, he played this on me essentially, and he pretty much the thing I want to note on that is it could come out through that play without being affected because does have that keyword skill of deflect. And the biggest thing for this, besides the deflect point, was the activate battle. Now, for King Cole, I do not believe you should just be power turboing awakening. That's just personally me. It's cool and all to have your hand in your I guess your cards in your hand. But if you're going against something tall, like I was playing Dark Royal, right? He power turbo through his deck and essentially gave me all those cards he got back in a blink of an eye because I started swinging, just like that. But the way I told him he should have done it, especially when he sat down against me, I feel like that matchup is not good for him at all because I am swinging tall and he's going to struggle with combo power. In my opinion, he
Yep.
should not have done that and just waited to play this card. Once he played this card, he should have started power turboing no, let me not curse. He should have started power turboing me down because he'd have been swinging with a plethora of 20Ks because he would have had the light to do it. And then if he did not just want to take damage, he wanted to do something by himself, he still had the option to, hey, activate battle. He has 2 two 20k blockers, which is completely, utterly insane for me. And then he backed it up with, I'm going to say at the very end, because every color has it besides black. I'll just say now, I guess, which is a Battle Evolution negates. Those cards I'll preach those cards every single Teen Talk I can. Those Battle Evolution negates are insane. If you ever lose to Cerebral Gohan, you deserve to lose to Cerebral Gohan. If you ever lose to Vegeks because you know you like suffer against aggro, you deserve to lose against Vegeks. Those Battle Evolution, I don't even know how to call them. Those just negates are god tier. And I'm convinced Bandai did not want to give Black those cards. So instead of saying, hey, Black, I'm going to give you those Battle Evolution negates, they gave us this. But I don't think they realized the interaction that this card had. The interaction that this card has with the meta is complete, utterly insane. People have attacked me multiple times and then dropped the Kai Secret and then attack with something else, and I just work the Kai Secret and it's just gone. It's like you try to blow up my field. My bad, you guys can't see it.
I did that to King Vegeta.
Yeah, the Kai Secret. It's a meme.
Very nice.
But let me pull it up on the actual thing. Yeah, the Kai Secret has a lot of interaction. I don't think Bandai actually play tested to see what's gonna happen. Like anything permanent that removes itself from field, like the Vegeta Time Age, anything permanent that says when this card leaves the battle area, it's worth or it's removed from game. If Kai targets it, it is a wrap for that card. It's not coming back. It's just a done deal for that card. So I'm convinced Bandai said, I'm going to give you a battle card instead. They thought it was weaker, but this guy is just insanely strong. Super, super, super strong. And worst case scenario, it's a 5k combo to your end. And if I'm playing the gates now, that should tell you something. That's how strong it is. I hate playing the gates. But if you see me playing the gates, like that should really tell you something. That card is really, really good. Yeah, but
a couple notes on that, Eddie. Blocker negates. The Battle Evolution negates. Just call them blocker negates.
Got you.
Yeah,
those cards are insane. How do you guys feel about those cards? I love those cards, dude.
I wish they didn't say mono.
Yeah. You would have had it free. Oh my god, that would have been nasty and vulgar. What?
Every deck I've built since they came out has had minimum 2 copies.
Yep.
Yeah. Now in King Piccolo, I'm playing 4 because why not? It's a negate that you want to play in King Piccolo.
Violent Rays right now in most
it's 2 negates.
Yeah. Every deck like Sublett said, you have to play mono. So Invoker can't play them, Cell Surge can't play them, but like every deck should just play. Mecha Frieza probably doesn't need it. Mecha Frieza's fine, but like almost every deck should have minimum 2 copies.
Yeah.
If not 2 to 3 to 4 copies. Like their cards are nuts, man.
I think minimum too because. Oh, go ahead. So, what were you saying?
I was just going to make a note on the chilled, but go ahead. Let's finish up the blocker negate discussion real quick.
Yeah, the blocker negate, because once again, any aggro decks in best of 3 that exist, such as Riva Gohan, Vegeks, those just heavy aggro decks that are coming to your face. These are literally 2 negates in 1, and I believe it's the red and green ones actually have combo power. So if they just say no, I'm just going to end my turn. It's just a 5.
I think.
Which is really
I think Ribu Gohan is dead. That's a deck that we'll never see play ever again.
Because of these Battle Evolution negates. That's why.
That is honestly a huge reason, yes.
These Battle Evolution negates are insane. But if they do not have them, because people do not respect these cards, and I do not know why, I wish Black had these so bad. I'm telling you. I would have played this.
We do. I think ours I think ours is a little better, I'm not gonna lie. Ours could very well just be better.
The card is broken, dude. Like I don't think they saw those interactions when they made the card. But all right, that's it for those Battle Evolution games. Back to this chill card. This chill, guys. All right, as Sublett, I know you play King Cole. What do you think about this card?
You play this chill.
The TP. They can't see it. It's the TP edit.
It's chilled the Assailant. This is the tournament pack chill. Now, there's an argument for either one, right? The one that Eddie's talking about right now reduces its energy cost. And because of that, you can play it for free. This one you can't play for free. This one costs 3 energy. They both summon 2 tokens, but this one doesn't crit a life to buff the tokens, which is important because King Cold takes its life like nobody's business. No aggro deck can take King Cold's life faster than King Cold can take King Cold's life.
Big facts.
And so you don't really have the ability to use that crit effect more than once per game. And when you do, you would much rather have used a blocker negate homicidal clones instead. And so this chilled is better in my opinion for that. It makes 15Ks instead of 20Ks, but the upside is instead of playing this card, You can tap 2 energy and clear any battle card ignoring barrier whose energy cost is less than or equal to your opponent's hand. Number of cards in their hand. Which means this kills Bojack against Mecha Freeze's 20 card hand. This kills more barrier removal against Invoker. Great. Great. As if you couldn't already. But this is a low energy cost barrier removal that is also a boony. This card is just a very good card. In King Cold right now, I'm testing 2 Chilled and 2 of the Rosie, the one that discards 2 cards and is a triple attacker. Because they each fill 2 separate roles in a very similar kind of manner.
Yep.
Rosie is very good against decks where you don't think the attacks are going to go through and you want to discard those cards. And Chilled is very good against decks where you need removal and or a bunch of bodies on the board real quick. I think this card works better than that Chilled, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
I think
every time I use this card, it puts in work. It always performs exactly as it should or better.
Yeah. I think the SR Chilled says create your own life, and that makes it not good. That's it. Now, if you do not have TP Chills, that is a fine replacement until you purchase your TP Chills or pull them at locals. It's fine. That's a word you can say, but like it's just the fact creating your own life is absolutely horrible. It doesn't matter if you're at 8 life or 4 life. It literally doesn't matter. Like you never want to create your own life. It doesn't matter how good the card is. Maybe Omen of Awakening. Like I don't even like that card. Like and that card creates a life.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's go into, I don't know, I think it's like we were talking about earlier. Green doesn't really have much cards, but the only other green card, in my opinion, that deserves at least an honorable mention would be, where's the god at?
Green has a lot of cards. They're just only in the main board.
Exactly.
Like that's it. It's just
I'm talking like just like a card that you wouldn't normally main, but you could look at least in the sideboard and maybe you have an extra slot. Where is he? Where is the god? Oh, here it is. Belmont. So Belmont, Double Devastation. This guy,
absolutely not.
Free play. You don't like him?
Absolutely. In what?
What do you mean? Like let's say you're going against King Vegeta. You have 2 invaders on board, and you have whatever it is. A free play guy, a blocker, a 20 or something.
Invaders do not stay on the field after the turn they're played. So, like, no King Vegeta player is gonna, like, King Vegeta player is not gonna give you an invader and then leave it on the board for 2 turns. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, here's the problem.
Even if you're playing a deck that just has battle cards that you don't care about no more, you're just trying to push for game, you even think about putting it in? I don't play green. I'm just looking at green cards.
So. Belmont literally wins your opponent the game. You sacrifice 3 of your own battle cards for 1 more attack. If your opponent's at 1 life and they don't have a negate, it's going to feel real good to get that Belmont attack in. Mm-hmm. But, like, you literally clear your own board. So, like, you know what I'm saying? There's no scenario where I saw Johnny Teo was playing Belmont and Dark Broly, which is the only deck I would ever actually consider playing Belmont in. Mm-hmm. I personally hate that card because at least in Dark Broly you can clear your Dark Brolys and then play them again. Like that's like the only deck I would actually consider Belmont. But I don't. Belmont's not a good card like ever. You win your opponent the game. That's it. You clear your own board, and now your opponent wins because you have no board.
So yeah, Belmont. I don't like Belmont all that much, but because I've seen players against me, like when they're in a good position, they sacrifice 3 very important cards for 1 more attack that never works.
Yep.
But like as far as green goes, you side bigger more if you think there's going to be a lot of decks that are attacking you with high energy cost cards. You side Focus Breakthrough. You side the cooler counterplay that just came out. There are plenty of options. It's just in a lot of cases, green's side deck is populated by black cards.
Makes sense.
That's most side decks.
Dylan
and Kikanos, right, Chesko?
Oh yeah, Cyber 1 Kikano, best card. Dylan was saying he was siding in a small hand destruction package to help with the baby matchup. I do think King Cold will probably lose to baby game 1. So he was saying he was siding in a small hand destruction package of Rosie and Riberian and probably Zamasu as well. I haven't tested it, but that actually does sound pretty smart. Baby does struggle against hand destruction, so that will make your matchup ever so slightly better.
There you go.
Yeah, and you can side the Vegeta that removes a field spell, but honestly, it gets counterplayed every time if you're going second, so don't bother.
Right. Yeah.
If you're
Tactical
first,
victory.
tactical victory. If you're going first, then the baby player has 1 energy and it'll work. Cool. If you're going second, I'm sorry, it's just gonna get counterplayed.
I don't think you should ever play that card. If you're gonna play something, you should be playing this. Like that you should be playing the Piccolo and Arena record.
But that costs 3 energy.
It costs 1.
Yeah, but doesn't it only blow up a 1-cost field spell?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Young Invader, Planet Tuffle.
Did I spell Piccolo?
Those are all 3 cost, right? Now you spelled Piccolo, right?
They're all 3. Just look at the Arena record. His name is Arena.
Does it have to be a 1 cost? It's not any field
Yes,
spell?
it has. It has to be 1 cost.
Oh, okay. I take that back. You're correct. I take that back.
It doesn't hit
I
anything relevant.
thought it was any field spell. Okay, yeah, I take that back. So it would have to be Piccolo. I mean, the Vegeta. But the Vegeta at that time and point, it's too late. You're just gonna get
You have to go first.
Yeah,
you have to go first.
That's snake. Oh, all right. So we're getting to the best color. Let's go yellow. I forgot yellow's next, not black. I got excited.
Best
for a second.
color is red blue, sir.
No. So yellow. The thing about yellow, in my opinion, at least, I'll let these guys sell their opinions. I don't think yellow has those tech cards because of Mecha Frieza, dude. Like everything that's broken in yellow, it's there. It's already there. So
there's only 1 yellow deck.
Exactly.
And no other yellow deck matters.
You guys feel the same way or what?
Yeah, there's only 1 yellow deck.
Yeah.
You should be sideboarding Nimbus, right? You can, somebody made a really good argument of why you should mainboard Nimbus still, but I'm not going to get into it. You should mainboard for Repose. This is my opinion. Mainboard for Repose. Side double Nimbus.
Yep.
Because why are you shaking your head, Sublett?
You do too. You can't let a main deck Koitsukai just lose the game.
Who's playing Koitsukai?
That's
the thing. It's just rejects.
Not everybody.
A lot of people are playing Koitsukai.
Yeah.
And
how many people had Koitsukai in their main deck in the past 2 events that I played this weekend? Man,
literally, I can't count the best one. Best of 3 for the best of 3 event.
Best of 3, yeah. I
played Koitsukai that weren't black.
Yeah, Koitsukai literally just won me the entire tournament, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's God tier, dude.
For real. You have to. It is highly recommended that you actually split your negates, your turn ender negates, between Nimbus and Repose. Because also, Repose doesn't end the turn. If you go against like King Cole, they're just tapping their field spells.
Yeah.
If you go against a deck that goes really wide, like Vegex, I'll just tap the 1-drop Kai for all I care if I can get another 25k double strike.
That is funny you say that. That is exactly what I did. I just tapped
exactly. Kai. So you need Repose.
Did you not get Bergamo?
I told you he Bergamoed my entire board.
I was about to say, damn.
You still do it.
Yeah.
But it's highly, again, people have told me I should play the Mecha Frieza deck, so I have been built it, and I have been tested it. And a 2-2 split has actually been really favorable because there are times when I want to Nimbus to guarantee the turn ends, and there are times when I want to Repose to force my opponent into an awkward position. But just because I can't combo with Nimbus doesn't really mean that much. I can't combo with anything in the deck. So 4 Repose is greedy, and it's really hoping your opponent will just look at it like they look at Topo and say, even though I have 14 cards in hand, I'll pass. Even though I have 6 cards, I'm not going to tap this turn. I'll pass. It's
that's very true. That is
the only argument that I feel you can make to play 4 Repose is the fact that it is 1 energy on your turn and it can attack your opponent. Outside of that, I really feel, this is just my personal opinion, I feel that a 2-2 split is a very good idea. And if we look at a lot of the Mecha Frieza decks that did well this weekend, you'll see that a lot of them were splitting Nimbus and Repose. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them were doing
that was the exact conversation I had, which is, we talked to the same person, I'm sure. I agree. I like Repose, man. I like it a lot. It's just more vulnerable than Nimbus. But yeah, honestly, Sublet's right. Yeah, you should do it. Whatever. Yeah, SS2 Trunks Unison. I've been trying in Frieza. If you're playing the Bojack
Let me get to the
version,
comments.
go ahead.
Where they at? Where we leave off? All battle evolution negates are great sideboards if you can't main them. Main negates for the mirror. Yeah, I'm scarred from that. It says you need to have SS2 Trunks Unison if not main. For Giancarlo, I knew you were talking about it. How do you feel about that Unison?
Yeah, it's great. I've been.
What happened? Is he still behind it?
I'm just laughing because you stopped him from talking about the Unison into the comment. Asked him about the Unison.
Oh, no. Yeah, I want to catch up. I thought he was reading the comments. I'm like, let me catch up real quick.
Yeah. That's funny. No, okay, so I actually don't know. Okay, so we have the Vegeta Unison, the 2-cost Vegeta, and that's been putting in a lot of work in Mecha. I don't know. I really think you could, whatever your choice. I need to do more playtesting. I do plan on playing Mecha Frieza at the Pensacola Regional, and I just need to do more playtesting. But like, you can main one, side the other. Right now, and personally, I like to main Trunks and side Vegeta. Obviously, Vegeta's good against stuff like Vegex and Dark Broly and blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of decks it's good against. But this Trunks is so nice, man. So it's ±0 is you just kill a 4-drop, and then it attacks twice. So Mecha Frieza just lacks removal. That's Mecha Frieza's biggest weakness, is not having removal. This card is a lot of removal. So like you kill a 4-drop, and killing a 5-drop would be broken because then it would hit Demigra, but like killing a 4-drop kills Warcry. It kills any card in King Piccolo except for Drum. It kills whatever. 4 cost is pretty high, right? It kills a lot of stuff. Right. And then it's a 20k dual attacker, so like you can pressure Unison really well, or you can pressure a 15k really well. You can pressure a 20k really well. Like, it's just really, really nice against every matchup. And then, like, I feel like Vegeta is, like, realistically, Vegeta's good against every matchup because, like, everybody plays Overrealm, everybody plays cards to cheat out, and then Vegeta is a better win con than Trunks. So, like, I need to do more testing before I make a concrete result, but I think that I'm going to end up, like, maining Trunks and siding Vegeta. Today, that's my thing today. If I would go to a tournament today, that's probably what I would end up doing.
So my question for you is, I guess you incorporating Trunks, are you forced to play blue yellow and have the Bojack
You should just play blue yellow. It's just better. It's
okay, yeah. Because you can't afford to just top 3 mono yellow, can you?
No, you can't even match. Like, that's why I think you should side out Trunks, is because like decks are realistically not going to main deck Bojack removal. Like, I could just be wrong about that, but like, like if we look at like based on set 12, like decks aren't just mainboarding Kaioken. They're not just mainboarding the chilled TP that is new. Like, it's one of those things where I think that like you can realistically, like, game 1, you can realistically tap out if you have a Bojack, as long as you're not playing the mirror match. Game 2 and 3, you side out Trunks because he Solar's shaking his head again. You side out Trunks because tapping 3 is way too much of a commitment, and then Vegeta is just like much safer games 2 and 3. That's my logic.
How is it like, Chesko, living in the bubble where your opponents don't have an answer to your barrier cards in game 1? Is that a nice? I haven't lived in that world in so long.
Well, if you look at the meta, there's a lot of black in the meta, and black doesn't have any answers to it.
They do. Yes, they do. That stupid Gogeta that kills my Vegeta.
What Gogeta?
In fact, you could name a deck, and I'll tell you how they killed my Vegeta.
Okay. First of all, you're talking about the 6-drop Gogeta. That card can't kill Bojack, and it doesn't even work in Dark Broly. So,
it does work in Dark Broly.
You're right. It doesn't work in Vegex. It does not work in Vegex. Yes. Earthling or Saiyan only. Vegex is a Saiyan Earthling. Like the fact, like main deck Kaioken in red, like it could happen. It's just one of those things where it's like Bojack is just. I know.
everywhere.
Okay, like I
everyone
get
has
it.
at
I
least two
understand.
in your main board. I think if you're not running at least two, you get
Yeah,
shut down.
nightmares from that Coyote Ken.
No, I don't think in best of one, King Piccolo does not need that card in the main board at all. In best of threes,
Not
in
King.
best of
Yeah,
three,
you're right. You're right. But if you do have it though, hey,
yeah. Anyway, look, what I'm saying is, you're more Bojack is safer game one than it is game 2 and 3. So like, you can tap 3 for that, and you like again, you have again. So like, if we're back to playing Nimbus, if I'm tapped out, well, I can still play Nimbus. So maybe I'm gonna be okay anyway. Like, it's just one of those things where you can probably afford to do it game one, and then you decided to go Jita or Bud Jita games 2 and 3. It makes sense. It really does make more sense. You know what I mean? Like, Bojack is gonna work. You never do it in the mirror match, but Bojack is gonna work. That's what like other if it was like guaranteed to die all the time, then it would just be unplayable regardless. So like it's definitely gonna work.
makes sense. All right, let's get back to this. We were chilling with the comments way too long on this one. It's about to be midnight. Yellow, yeah, but I don't know. I guess Giancarlo and I answer. So, do you have anything? Because for yellow, it's like anything that is yellow. I mean, Mecha just abuses it in the main board. I don't think there's. You think there's any secret yellow cards besides the Nimbus that you mentioned earlier? Which I'm not like after thinking about it, what you just said, I agree that you are correct because as a player, if I know you're at least playing at least one Nimbus, it's always in the back of my mind. It's like the Zamasu logic. It's like, well, damn, he at least has the one Nimbus because he already showed it to me. Now, how many does he actually play? Because it becomes a hassle versus knowing you're just playing the forward pose. So after thinking about it, I do agree with you.
With yellow, you know what lives in a yellow side deck that is yellow? The second and third copies of other cards already in the main
like
deck.
This.
There's copy number 2
like this,
and 3 of Cooler.
Yep,
There's copy number 2 of Annihilator.
Yep.
There's copy number 3 of Nimbus.
Yep.
There's blah, blah, blah. Any yellow card, it's already in the main deck.
Yeah.
We're just going to side more of it.
Yeah. And one card I noticed hasn't, I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen it down here at least for the mechas in that main board. And at 100%, these should be at least at 3 to 4. No, I mean, not 4, but at least at 2 to 3 in your sideboard should be these. Because against those floodgate battle cards, don't forget, guys, the gate will still happen.
What are these, Eddie? Oh, T-Blow?
Yeah, turn blow. Because at least, the negates will happen, right? But the floodgate effects from the autos will not happen, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's
beautiful,
good
dude. I can't express how beautiful it is that they just tapped out, and I said, "Cool, guy, we're still gonna swing through that." Because now you're gonna force them to either, like for blue, they're gonna have to demagic you and take a life to do it. And if they demagic you, take a life, and you have a cooler because you're at 3, it's just like, bro, your body get. I'm just not gonna say because we're gonna say PG tonight, boys. But 100%, if it's not in the main board, having the sideboard, so at least 2 to 3 copies, at least.
I know something cute you can do with it since we're talking about using it against Baby.
What's up?
You swing with your leader first. You draw your card. They Gohan. You tyrannical blow, negating the Gohan's effect, and then negate the Unison's effect. The Boo Unison.
Oh yeah. They got.
The Boo's auto. Yeah, the Boo's auto cannot trigger on a leader attack.
Yep. Yeah.
You can actually, so you just turn that thing's effect off completely like that.
That's pretty good,
Big brains your Baby opponent.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you play Baby, don't fall into that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what Rio's played on me? Look, you're right. You're about to pass it. It's that 17-18 from the new set that came into it like comes in for 2 energy.
Oh yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
I was like,
the dual attack.
I was so confused. I think I read it like 3 times, and I was like, like I literally was like so confused.
Dual
I was
attack
like,
deflect. If your leader's yellow,
no, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can
it
also.
Was really funny, though. It was funny. Chesko, I'm sitting beside Chesko while he's playing Rios.
Yeah.
And Rios explains to him, he's like, it's like a better war cry. And Chesko reads it twice, and then he asks Rios, how's it like a better war cry? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it took, not gonna lie, it took me a second. Also, you can combo it off of your field and replay it. So, like, with Bojack, it's like an additional, it's like having an extra card in hand, if that makes sense. Like, and then when it's removed from the board, you get to rest something. Something I did that I also thought was hilarious is he plays that, he attacks me with it, it's his turn. I lineage it, and then because like it's now on my field, the auto triggers. I rested his leader, and I was like, oh, that felt. he just passed the turn. I was like, man, that felt super good too. Like
That is
that was
hilarious.
nice. Yeah.
One thing I will notice, I could pass on here. I'm only going to mention this because I see some people take it out of their sideboard. Jonathan, and I even have it in their main board, is the slug package. Guys, if you're not mainboarding this package, have it in your sideboard. I could understand, hey, you're trying to go maybe one way in the main board, but guys, please have access to this somewhere between your main board and sideboard. This package shuts down a lot of decks. Yes, there's
I
some
think it's
decks
funny
it
that
does
you
not
say that
it's
because
subpar against, but have access to this package, guys.
yeah.
Trust me, you will not regret it, especially if your opponent is just making on the fact that maybe they don't play it and they don't have, let's say, a KO can or like those barrier removal guys. They will struggle big time against this package. But like I said, it's not really, it shouldn't be an honorable mention. I'm just saying it because I see a lot of people are just cutting it. I don't believe that's correct, guys. That's another issue I have with the blue yellow because you do have to, I guess, forfeit some cards in order to fit in that package.
Well, the
But
thing is
man,
that it's not actually blue yellow. It's mono yellow,
yeah,
and
when I
you
say
just
blue yellow, I'm
play
not talking about blue yellow,
Bojack.
and I'm talking about like actually the Bocat package essentially with the Bojack and the Zamasu. I see a lot of people just saying, you know what, this is the least important, which I can see why they would do that, but at least have access to this post sideboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't completely cut this card out, guys, please. It's really really beneficial to you.
Okay,
Yep.
so moving on to black cards.
Yeah,
We're
because that's it.
No.
Man.
Yeah,
Where's
it's
Christian Halo? Here we go,
getting pretty
boys.
late.
I
Oh
need y'all to see
god.
my
Here,
face,
we'll start. We'll
boys.
start. 'Cause This was
I was waiting for
this
this
was a
one.
comment earlier, so we might as well start with it. This is what Chesko and I call the Pac-Man
Pac-Man.
special.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
Eddie,
Sorry
you
about
want
that.
to pull
Yeah.
this up on your
Yeah, let me pull it
screen?
up real quick.
Clash of the Masked Warriors. This is a card, we call it the Pac-Man special because Pac-Man, who's in chat right now, he brought this up on an earlier team talk, and we kind of said, it wasn't that amazing. And we were wrong, Pac-Man. We'll keep telling you that. Card's really good against any deck that goes in with a Unison. It's an activate battle. You choose their Unison, and then you give your opponent the choice. They either remove a marker from the Unison, or you don't take strike damage. And if they remove the marker, anything that Unison gained falls off. So like the King Vegeta in King Cold loses its triple strike. Jiren loses its double strike. The Gotenks loses its double strike. Yeah, Gotenks loses its double strike and dual attack. And the plus 20k. It's just so this card is very, very good because your opponent will think that their Unison is safe. They will throw away all of the cards in their hand and you'll take 1 damage. So, yeah.
I will say one thing I realized playing that card in Regex is that is for non-black decks. Black decks have Brainwash,
Yeah.
and this card functions very similar. Like I cited in Regex, but I just didn't really think about it. I was like, oh yeah, actually this you just have Brainwash.
Yeah.
So like
a comboable.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Non-black decks play this, and then black just plays Brainwash.
Big facts. Big facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 1 sideboard card. I don't mean this is by most. Oh, okay. It's only extra card. I was gonna say this is by most popular. Is I don't know why it's not up here. That's insane. It's not even in the top 3-4 rows. What in the world? If you're not Bajex, you should at least have this in your sideboard. It's this bad boy, Koetsukai Mechanical Courage. This guy, I don't know what else to say about this card, man. I just let Giancarlo talk about because I know this guy. I know you only play that. I saw your deck profile. I don't know how you only play with T because this card's amazing.
Okay,
But,
I
man,
only the reason I actually only own 2, and then like right before the tournament started is when I got my 3rd one, and I literally just like didn't even think about it. I just slid it into the sideboard. Bro, I would say it's not even wrong to main deck 4 because like I play Demigra, so it's like on turn 2 I want to Demigra. If you're just playing it like a more aggro Vegex, starting from turn 2, you want to Koetsukai every single turn. So like you want to Koetsukai turns 2 and 3 and 4, and like generally the game's gonna end on 3 to 4. So like you can if you're playing aggro Vegex, just play 4 copies. If you're playing like the slower version, you can get away with 3. But yeah, the reason I was manning it at 2 is because I only had 2, and then I got one too late, and I just didn't think about it. So yeah, that was it. Yeah, they literally just won me the whole tournament. You're like a lot of stuff just has battle cards. Like think about like I'll just use King Piccolo as an example. You have the leader effect. You have testing the opposition. You have Yamcha counterplay. You have Scion. That's probably it, right?
That's
Mega
crazy.
Frieza Mega Frieza
Everything,
has
every
Bojack.
single thing, dude.
Yeah,
Every battle
Bojack,
card.
Warcry, Bergamo, Repose. Like
They don't have one battle
Mega
card that's over
Frieza.
2,000, is it?
Yeah,
Everything's like 20K.
they have Kai Secret Rare. I
Oh
guess
yeah,
that's it,
Kai
right?
Secret. Yeah.
So like again, like it just that's why I would go as far as to say like Mecha Frieza actually just has a bad Vegex matchup because like not only do I have BMS, but like starting from turn 2, I have Quitsukai. So it's like your Mecha Frieza is now forced to play on its own turn, which just makes the deck like infinitely worse. So like, yeah, Quicksky's broken. Every deck should side it. It just works best in Vegex because Vegex has the most synergy with it. But literally every single deck in the entire meta should just sideboard this card, minimum at 2. Okay, non-invokers. So it's all up as invoker leader.
Or
You know what I
baby.
mean?
Or
Baby also doesn't need it. God, okay, whatever. They know what I mean when I say every day.
Every
90%
deck in
of
the entire
decks.
meta. I just threw 2 up at you that were wrong.
90% of decks should
Big facts.
should play Quitsukai on the side.
I don't know why.
It's not leader lock. It's good.
I'm
Yeah.
upset. Moving on to the next card. I'm gonna preach this thing till I die now, guys. I don't love negates, but I'm telling you, this thing's insane. 100% insane. That's why another card I want to go ahead and say is insane, in my opinion, is this. This just does a lot of stupid stuff right now, guys. I know I stopped talking about this card, but this card, when I say there's a lot of stupid stuff, like the interactions that are going on in this game, especially when both of you guys are running this, except the biggest difference is you're a black leader, so you're running this, so you'll get your cards back. It makes absolutely no sense, but it makes for the funniest matchups ever, man. Obviously, you do have your floodgates. I'm running into all of that because we hash out every single team talks. But one card I do want to give another note on, and a huge honorable mention. It's not as good, but it's the broke man's version. It's the King Vegeta, A Kingdom Lost. Don't forget, guys. If you're not able to afford the Demigras, once again, this is not even like it's a budget option. It's also a great card. The biggest difference between this is if you are, let's say, don't want to really overwhelm, but you still want the border removal and you like the barrier, the defender slot, you have the King Vegeta to, I guess, help you in that slot. And it's also, if you're playing Dark Broly, and let's say you wanted to play the Migra, but then you just don't want to play the Migra because you don't want to buy it. This does get under Violent Raise, and not only does it get under Violent Raise, it goes to rest mode. So if they want to attack your leader first, they are going to have to pay the tax of warping that one card, which is it can start adding up really quick, especially if you control it in your hand the way you're supposed to by playing this card. I guess everyone's running this now. This is like just a staple at this time and point. The fighting against fates. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if next thing you know, Sublett's like, you know what, my Apex got crit. I'm just gonna pay freaking. That's just for fighting against fates, man. Swing for game. You're at 1.
Not
see that next
not quite. Not quite.
No, I'm just joking.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is like in every deck right now.
Yes, you are correct. The card's nuts. I didn't miss it at all. I didn't play it a single game this weekend. There was literally like no game where I was like, man, I wish I had fighting against fates.
That's because you had. Oh, I can't find. Yeah, it's because you had these. You can't really say that. You had these. That's why. I guarantee if you didn't have those Gojitas, though,
no, it was okay. Yeah, okay. If I don't have Gogeta, sure. But like, but really, like I said this in the deck profile. It's that like honestly, like Demigra does the exact same thing. It's just a little slower.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a bigger plus. Like fighting against fate is good because it deals 2 damage. But like Demigra also just deals 2 damage, except it pluses while doing so. So it's just one of those things where it's like I didn't actually miss fighting against fate. I don't know. Like I sided it in against Rigo Gohan, and like basically any matchup I side out Demigra, I just sided in fighting against fate, and it was like I just didn't draw it, so like I just didn't summon it. I didn't miss it. I do think it's amazing. Like Mecha plays it, King Piccolo plays it, King Vegeta plays it, King Cold can play it.
Yeah, everybody's trying to finish it. That's your finisher. It's the secret essentially. Secret, it's not a secret.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
One card I do want to note on, we talked about this when I was doing this deck profile earlier, is this 5-drop. Guys, this 5-drop is insane. If you're having like it's a long game problem, like your deck lasts. It could last a long game, but you're just lacking that finisher. This card is.
I disagree, bro. I don't know why.
For this,
literally, does it actually cost 5 energy?
Yeah, it does. But it's like
All right, then it's bad.
No, no, it's just for
What?
Mercury
What
Rare.
do
It's for
you?
Mercury Rare. Let me rephrase.
I don't
This is
know.
not just for any. It's for Mercury Rare. It's because when we did the deck and
Okay,
follow
I
up
got
earlier,
you.
I we are doing the interview with him, and he guys told you because we was playing against me, and then he played this, and I'm like, bro, why are you playing this? And he could just have guaranteed damage. Like this guy is a deflect that's gonna come down 100%, and it's gonna do at least 2 damage. Well, guaranteed one. If unless they hit you with a freaking, let me see, yeah, negate. It's gonna guarantee to do at least 1 damage, right? Because you're warping as many cards as you're doing. But if they don't have the negate, if they don't have inherent lineage, it's gonna do at least if you got, I guess, what's his face, mass. I can't even think right now. Brainwash it.
Charismatic,
Yeah, if you,
charismatic villain.
yeah, if you care, yeah, no, charismatic is the auto, right?
It's an auto. Yeah, it gets around
Okay,
it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I guess charismatic villain will hit this too. But besides charismatic villain, once this thing drops, man, you're going to go in and inflict that 1 damage. Now, unless you get charismatic villain or you get a negate, it's gonna inflict at least 1 damage, guys, like once it attacks, which is completely insane. And if that attack is still going through, it's a double strike. So if your opponent's at 3 life, this is potentially a finisher for Mercury Barracks. I know a lot of guys are looking for finishers. So if you know if you're going against a deck like Black that doesn't have really interaction, no counterplays, use Wish Granter, 100% Wish Granter. But those decks that Wish Granter does not work against, I'd 100% venture to say this is the card you want to finish the game with. Especially like, so I was trying to tell him too, because I believe, I'm not sure if he played either U Sublett or Legends. He did play against one of you guys and got beat, he told me. And I told him, what did you do? He's like, did you play this card? He goes, no. I'm like, okay, that's why I probably lost. I'm like, you're not gonna finish killing him. Like, there's nothing you can do that's gonna kill him. But this card guarantees damage because they're warping their extra cards and doing what they got to do. And at least if they have 10 in there, it's a guaranteed damage. And they're going to have to hit you with a death beam. That's one thing you can do, right? At this time, points, just death beam.
That's I'm gonna go ahead and probably say that's just not good enough. I don't.
That that
I
guarantee
don't
one
know, man.
damage.
Yeah, against him, Makeka. So the thing is, like, Makekabura has no pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and like dealing 1 damage is like no. If Invoker's at 5 to 2 life,
Yeah.
like
If they're at five,
1 damage doesn't
if they're
matter.
at two or more, it's not
But
gonna
they
matter.
will be. The thing is that they will be at like 4 life minimum, 5 life maybe, because like Makekabura has like no pressure. Like it's a deck that does almost nothing the whole game, and it relies on your opponent playing battle cards. Like the deck, in order to apply pressure, it has to waste its entire hand, and then its entire board is just susceptible to a board wipe. So like it's just I hate the deck. You already know I don't like it. So like
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the community's 50-50 on that deck. Some people, the people who hate it, actually hate it. People who like it, it's not. There's no middle ground. They absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. So we're not going to talk about that deck. But what we
Yeah,
can
it's
talk
fine.
about is this beautiful extra card called Super Kamehameha. I've been playing as a
Yep.
bad boy at 4. I even slid into the main board because this thing is just absolutely insane, man. If you're a
So
black
good.
deck,
Yeah.
this guy is really, really good, man. Especially for those weaker matchups, it's god tier. Black just has. I'm not gonna go through all the black cards. There's a lot of them. We talk about every single team talks. Black has a
Yeah.
lot of good cards, and a lot of them are not leader locked. The only ones that are leader locked, I believe, are just the True Fighting Spirits and the Super Kamehameha. Obviously this year because this is just. I should have never put that out in my invitation. I should have just kept it to myself because everyone's just like there. But Black has a real lot of good cards. Don't forget, guys. Even though this is a finisher, please do not forget about Secret Identity Matt Saying. Secret Identity Matt Saying is still a great overall choice. It's so plus, guys. In my opinion, it's like you kind of have like two secret overalls. You have the choice between it's more than two now because you also have the Gogeta promo. You have the Secret Identity Matt Saying as well as the Fighting
Yeah.
Against Face. Yeah, Black has a lot of great slots, bro. I'm just gonna pass it because if you let me talk,
Yeah.
I'll talk all night about these deck cards, man. There's a lot.
Yeah. There's too many good cards to list. It's one of
A
those
lot.
things. Main board Demigra, it's really good, and that's all I can really say. Every black deck should mainboard Demigra, including Makekabura, because you should just ult your leader immediately, swing 3, draw 3, and then you can start playing Demigras, and you can actually play good cards in your deck. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably how I would play Makekabura, but I don't like that deck, so I wouldn't play it good. That's it. I guess I don't know. There's just too. There's too many.
Yeah,
There's
there's
just,
a lot of
every
great black cards, man.
every good sideboard. Every good sideboard card is black. So like, you can literally just build your entire sideboard deck, like your side deck as all black cards. Oh yeah, you should mainboard Supreme Kai Time if you're playing Vegex, Dark Broly. main board Supreme Kai time negate. It's too good not to. Even in Vergex, it was one of the MVP cards in my deck like all day. It was so good. Other than that, just if you're playing Dark Broly, play Power Burst. That card's also good. Kai Secret Rare is better than Lineage, but Lineage is cheap. So there's that. There's a lot to say.
I eventually say this secret is the secret, right? This secret is insane. Boys, we're about to bring the price back up on these secrets, man.
No, we're not. We're not. So okay, I played it in Vegex because I wanted to try it, and it was just fine. Like I don't think the secret rare matters at all in Vegex because like you literally just won't
it's
draw
game
it.
over. Yeah.
Well, no, you literally like you never draw your secret rare because you mill way too much. Like you mill 5+ cards a turn and you draw like 2 cards a turn. It's just like you're not gonna draw your secret rare realistically. So like
And with Jackson,
I don't
you
actually
play
think
more
it
than
matters
once.
which one you
It should be
play.
plus.
Yeah, that's also never gonna happen. Like I just like I don't think you could play Vegex for like a year straight. I doubt that would happen more than one time. So like
But if it does, you
Supreme
be
Kai
feeling
is just
God, dude. You're just like you
I
just
mean,
retire on the
sure. I
spot.
guess. Yeah. I genuinely believe Supreme Kai is always better.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where like people don't have Supreme Kais, so yeah, you can play Lineage if you want.
Mr. Sub, would you like to chime in on Black? Or are you like,
I'm sleepy.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
all right, yeah, it is pretty late.
All right, so I'll end it with these last 2 cards. I'm going to give an explanation. Petrification, great card. Best of
Yep.
one, played in black. Stop losing to Android 18. Just stop it. Like he swings, just say no, it's over. And play this
Yep.
card nerf early. That's it. That's my ending. Let's get these guys to give their closing comments, and then I'll give my closing comments, and that'll be it for tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Good team talk. Thanks for having us on. It's always fun. That's it.
Oof. All right, let me see. Let me catch up on the last comments, and that's it for tonight. We have, okay, yeah, the Trunks Unison, I'm guessing, pair with the Sin SCR is great. Yeah. I know it's over, but how do you guys feel about the Sin SCR? Yeah
It
or nay?
sucks.
Yeah or nay? So
Literally horrible.
Sin SCR, yeah or nay? We got a nay
Which
for Giancarlo.
the new one or the old one?
Oh, the new one, the new one. This is not too long, it's just yeah or nay. Because I don't want to hold you guys here longer.
I don't know, man. Not enough data.
Gotcha.
Plenty of data.
We have Glass and Demon,
I
King
don't think
Cold.
anybody's played it. I don't think there's enough data on whether
Yeah,
it's good.
it's just a turn ender. It's like a watered down baby hash, in my opinion. There's better black cards in that. In my opinion, anyway, because it costs 2 energy too. It's snag, dude. King Cold
Yeah.
does not really deserve. King Cold does not really need that card either because of its fills. I don't know which card you're talking about, Black Sun Demon. But
Yeah.
we will discuss that next Team Talks videos. All right, Coop, no problem, bro. We'll be back. Today's Wednesday, right? We'll be back on
Today is
Friday.
Wednesday.
Well, today's Thursday, technically. God damn. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. You guys watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. And yeah, this is guys.
Peace.